Sounds great.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another very exciting episode of Paralightning Darkcast, the Shadowhunters' newest podcast. And tonight we are really excited to have Sylvia Shults with us tonight. Sylvia has been a great friend of Shadowhunters, and also she's an author, and she does a lot with the Pollock Hospital. That was the first time that we had actually got to do an investigation together, and she will never forget about that doll room, right, Sylvia?
That is just imprinted on my memory forever. That's something that will never, ever leave me.
Thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Absolutely, Nick. I'm delighted to be with you.
So how's everything with you?
Oh, super good, super good. I am actually working on a new book, and it is going to be a sequel to Fractured Spirits. It's another book of stories about the Peoria State Hospital. It'll be called Fractured Souls, and there is quite a lot of experiences that I shared with Shadowhunters in the book.
Very nice. Very exciting.
Yeah. I mean, I've published that first book, and I just kept having experiences, and people kept sharing stories with me. So I decided that there needed to be another book, and Shadowhunters is a vital part of the chapter on the Pollock Hospital.
Very nice. Well, thank you very much. We're very, very honored to be in the book.
Absolutely.
So, Sylvia, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like how, why did you get started into the whole paranormal scene?
Oh, boy. I have been obsessed with ghost stories all my life. I grew up absolutely terrified of ghosts. I would gorge myself on ghost stories and then, sleep with the lights on going, oh, no, now I'm too scared to sleep. But I was always fascinated with ghost stories, especially as they represent history.
Mm-hmm.
I was always a big history dork when I was growing up, too. And the idea that people who lived through history, lived through battles of the Civil War and died in battles of the Civil War, were still, hanging around. That was so fascinating to me, that there were, people who maybe had some unfinished business and were still hanging around trying to communicate with people. That was just so amazing to me that I just had to find out more, and it's been a lifelong passion for me. And then I grew up and started realizing that I could write my own book. This would be pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, now I get to entertain people with ghost stories, too, and it's just been absolutely wonderful.
Very nice, very nice. Now, did you grow up around, the whole Peoria area, or just some other part of Illinois?
So I grew up with my father telling us tales at the dining room table about Resurrection Mary and the ghost of St. James the Stag and the screaming mummy at the Field Museum and all these wonderful tales. So I consider myself extremely fortunate to have grown up just steeped in all this ghost lore. I mean, Chicago is such a haunted place. I mean, Peoria is haunted too, don't get me wrong, but Chicago just has decades and decades and centuries of wonderful ghost lore stories, and it's a great place to cut your teeth when you're interested in ghost stories. It's a great jumping off point.
Oh, absolutely. I remember, the first time, we went to Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, I was in awe. I was like, oh, I don't know if I really want to be here after all the stories I heard.
Yeah, I've had that feeling, too, especially starting out. I had some friends, and we kind of put together a little bit of a ghost group. It didn't go very far, but we had fun going on tours and exploring places and whatnot. And it became a running joke in the group that I was the one who volunteered to sit in the spooky places in the complete dark, or wander around the edge of the haunted parking lot in Alton, and see if anything, jumped out at me, or see if anything was going to happen. And it became a running joke that I was the one that put myself out there, and then immediately turned around and said, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Well,
we were going to get T-shirts made. I can't believe I'm doing this. Quote by Sylvia Shults.
That wouldn't be a bad idea, actually.
But yeah, right. But now I'm used to doing that. I've been ghost hunting for so many years that I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to get these stories to share. I do my Lights Out podcast too, and I am just thrilled to be able to sit in dark, spooky places so my audience doesn't have to. I'm happy to go out and have those experiences and then come back to the studio and put them together for other people to enjoy.
Oh, absolutely. That's probably the most fun about kind of what we do is, getting to tell your story of, the apparition you saw, or this or that, really, and then kind of see the people's faces light up like, oh, you really, had that interaction with them and stuff like that.
Yes, that is the payoff. Seeing people's eyes light up, hearing them gasp as you tell the story, telling the story and have them go, no, that's so cool.
Oh, there was a lot of that when we told people we went to the Pollock Hospital, and they were like, what's the Pollock Hospital? And I was like, well, take a seat. Let me tell you a little bit about it.
Oh, man, I tell you what, I have been going to the Pollock Hospital for years, and I have never seen it as active as I did the weekend that Shadowhunters and everybody was there. I mean, we saw two different things move.
Mm-hmm.
No, there were three different things that actually moved. I didn't see one of them. I didn't see the stethoscope being taken off from Lisa's neck. I just was aware of it because she jumped like a scalded cat and scared the paste out of me because I was sitting next to her. But I saw with my own eyes, and everybody else saw it too. I saw that rocking chair move in the doll room. I saw that big that wooden spool move towards you in the women's ward. I saw that, and it was amazing.
Right, and the cool thing is, like, you can see it. Like, when you're watching it on video, I'm nowhere near those two things,
no,
and all of a sudden,
not. You're
boom.
like a foot away, and it starts rolling towards you. You're like, hey. I crack up every time I watch that. Of course, you had just finished getting groped, too.
Oh, my God.
I'm sure you were a little on edge.
just a little bit. I still remember Pat and I just standing there like, should we be feeling this way? I don't think so. But, I mean, it was definitely...
Because I'm not a guy, but that must have been really weird.
Oh, yeah. Like, just looking down and having a feeling down there, and you're like, there's nobody over here. What's going on?
Oh, that cracked me up, too.
Oh, my God. But it was definitely...
and if your audience wants to know what we're talking about, you just look up the first episode of the Shadowhunters show, where they go to the Pollock Hospital, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, go about midpoint, and you'll see Pat and Nick both get grabbed somewhere inappropriate by a dirty old lady. But you can't see the dirty old lady. But definitely, we love the Pollock Hospital. I think that was definitely one of our most scariest experiences, going to a haunted location.
I'm so glad.
And it was nice too, because there was a lot of history there, and you gave such a great presentation with the history, and Chris and everybody there was so nice and kind, and we always recommend to people like if you're gonna go ghost hunting, you guys need to go check out the Pollock Hospital and all that kind of stuff, and they watch our videos and they're like, "Is this the hospital we were talking about?" Like, yep, this is it.
Yes, it is.
Now,
if you were able to take the floor plan of the hospital, and here's an incentive to anybody who's thinking about going there to ghost hunt. If you could take the floor plan, and if you could take like a transparent sheet of like plastic, like for like presentations, overhead presentations, and if you made a mark in every place in the building somebody saw an apparition, and you took another sheet of plastic and you said, okay, here's where everybody has smelled something in the hallways or something. You took another sheet of plastic and said, all right, this is where every site in the building where somebody has heard something strange. You would be able to lay those sheets of plastic over the floor plan of the building, and every single part of the building would have a mark on it. That entire building is so active.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it, especially downstairs. That downstairs area kind of creeps me out a little bit, especially Pat with those spiders.
I am very fond of the basement. There's a spirit down there that is very, very special to me.
But yeah, it was definitely a great experience. Anybody who's listening should definitely go to the Pollock Hospital and go check it out. Now, Sylvia, how many books have you written?
I think I've got half a dozen books of nonfiction out, five or six. And then I started off writing fiction. I started off writing horror and romance. I know, fine line between the two. So I've got a dozen fiction books running around out in the ether. But yeah, I think Fractured Souls might be the sixth one that I'm working on.
Okay.
So yeah, I got a lot of fun stories out there.
Very nice. Now I remember reading your Christmas one, and I know Liz, one of the psychics that we know, she read it, and she said she couldn't really read it after 5 o'clock.
I believe what she said was her daughter forbade her to read it after 5 o'clock. Just because she got so worked up with the energy and wonderfulness of these tales.
Oh, absolutely. And
yeah, I had ridiculous amounts of fun writing that book. That was so much fun. That was Spirits of Christmas is the book we're talking about right now.
Yeah, that was definitely a good book. I finished that actually was it 3? No, about 4 weeks ago. That one was finished. There's still a couple other ones that I have to get from you. I got to get some of those. But yeah, I mean, you probably got to have a blast writing all these books, telling about your side of the story and writing about other people's sides and what they see, what they hear, and it probably brings back like a lot of like memories and stuff for you too.
It really does. I've been working on Fractured Souls, and I was working on the Pollock chapter, and I was thinking to myself, well, here is my experience of being in the basement and sitting next to Lisa and having the stethoscope taken off from around her neck. I remember standing in the women's ward and seeing, Nick and Pat get groped and seeing that spool move. And I remember being in the doll room and seeing the rocking chair move. And it was really wonderful to me to be able to get back in contact with Liz and Lisa and Pat and all these people and say, what was your experience? What did it look like from your point of view? And I discovered something really interesting when I did that. One of the spirits at the Peoria State Hospital, which you know all about, but I'll say it for your listeners anyway, is the spirit of a woman named Rhoda Derry.
Mm-hmm.
And her story in a tiny, tiny, tiny nutshell is that she believed she was cursed. She was engaged to a young man, and the young man's mother did not approve of the relationship, so she threatened to curse Rhoda, and Rhoda took her seriously, and it ruined the rest of her life. She basically went insane from that, and she was committed to the Adams County Almshouse, where she basically spent 44 years locked in a cage. She suffered horribly. She was finally rescued at the end of her life by Dr. Zeller and brought to the Peoria State Hospital and spent the last 2 years of her life being waited on hand and foot by caring nurses who knew her excruciating history.
Mm-hmm.
So she is very, very attached to the Peoria State Hospital. She is one of our favorite spirits. We know her story, we know her history, and we are just as entranced with her as those nurses were back in 1904 to 1906. We adore Rhoda Derry, and we're so happy that she's one of our spirits. So the thing about Rhoda's spirit is that by being locked in this cage for so long, her hips atrophied, and she could no longer stand on her own.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever she is noticed as a spirit, a tell that you know that it's Rhoda's spirit is that she will tug on your pants leg to get your attention. She knows this is her ghost lore. So that's what she does to get people's attention, is she tugs on her pants leg. Now, Lisa told me that she had heard Rhoda's story on Friday night and just stewed about it all Friday night and all during the day on Saturday. And she kept thinking to herself, this is so horrible. I mean, how is this even fair? This poor woman suffered for most of her life, had this wrenching, horrible experience through her entire life, and now in the afterlife, she's still crawling around on the floor because she can't stand up. I mean, how is that even fair? It really bothered her for 24, 36 hours or so. But Lisa came back to the Pollock Hospital, and she said it was in the hallway, kind of near the front entrance.
Mm-hmm.
She was still thinking about Rhoda, and Lisa is a psychic intuitive, and she became aware that there was a spirit on the floor next to her. And she looked down and realized that it was Rhoda Derry's spirit. And Rhoda looked up at her, made eye contact, and then got to her knees and then stood and gestured to herself as if to say, see, I'm fine. I'm whole. I can stand. I'm perfectly whole and healthy on the other side. And Lisa realized that this is why Rhoda does that, why she tugs on the pants legs, because she knows that's what's expected of her as a spirit. And she wants you to know for absolute certain that that's who it is that's trying to contact you, is Rhoda Derry. Now, the interesting thing about this is that Liz told me separately. You've already mentioned that Liz is a psychic that works with you guys. Liz told me separately, and about a year and a half later, that when she was in the Pollock Hospital, she had heard the story of Rhoda Derry, and she was also in the hallway, not at the same time as Lisa, but at a separate time. Liz was in the hallway, kind of near the front entrance, and realized that Rhoda was next to her, making contact. And she said, she put it this way, she said she saw Rhoda as she was in life, cramped and crabbed and in a ball on the floor, and then she morphed into a beautiful Victorian lady in very fancy garb, and it was the mental image that Rhoda has of herself. And she said Rhoda had this beautiful crooked smile and held Liz's gaze with these beautiful eyes. And she said that the experience lasted just a few seconds, and then Rhoda was gone. But she realized that she put two and two together. She would not have realized. I said, so she showed herself to you and then made you realize that she was whole and healthy, just as she did with Lisa. And Liz said, yeah, because if she hadn't, it would have been just another dead lady. I wouldn't have made the connection. So I find it really fascinating that these two separate women had two separate experiences that were so very similar. And the reason they had those experiences that were so similar was because this particular spirit was trying very hard and succeeding to make these women aware that that's who she was.
Absolutely. I remember both of those incidents, too. I remember the one night Lisa was talking about it. Lisa she messaged me over the phone and she was talking about it. And then the next day, she told me what happened. And then I remember Liz having that same, pretty much that same experience with seeing Rhoda and all that stuff. And I got to tell you, though, I remember when we were in the graveyard and we went to Rhoda's gravesite, you could just feel that energy around there. You knew that Rhoda was there with us.
Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely remember. And then we bought the chewing tobacco for her, and we put it on the grave, and that's when we were getting all that activity on the inside when we were filming downstairs in the basement while all that stuff with Rhoda was going on. I thought that was cool, how both things were happening at once.
Yeah. And that's what happens at the Pollock Hospital. These things happen simultaneously. People will have experiences in one part of the building, and they'll have experiences outside, and they'll have experiences in a different part of the building, and it's all going on at the same time.
Absolutely. And it was definitely an investigation we will never, ever forget.
I'm so glad. I was just so pleased that you guys came and that you had a good time.
Well, we were really excited, especially when you did that presentation at the Chicago Ghost Conference when Pat, myself, Liz, and Angel, Liz's daughter, when we all went there, and we were just, as soon as you started, all four of us looked at each other like, we need to go to this place. And then that's when after you were talking to us about it, and I mean, the way that you do your storytelling and the way that you present yourself to an audience is just incredible. It keeps people in there, and it keeps people in the moment, and they love what you're talking about. So you do a really, really good job at that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That is so nice to hear that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Because usually, myself, I usually, if somebody's, telling a story or whatever, and, if it's not, exciting or anything like that, I will, I'll get bored. The whole, every time you talk, just, talking to you right now, I'm just okay, she's going to say something more exciting. You keep a good audience. So, the audience is always with you and all that kind of stuff. So that's why, I love having you at Spirits in the Spring and all that kind of stuff. And we always get 100% great feedback every time you talk at Spirits.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm glad you shared that with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody loves when you come to the event and all that, and especially Pat. Pat loves you. Pat's always like, is Sylvia coming? I'm like, yes, Pat. Sylvia's coming this year. But yeah, I mean,
Well, I deeply enjoy hanging out with you guys, too. I mean, it's always a treat to hang out with Shadow Hunters. It's just, we have so much fun together. Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about. That's what ghost hunting, paranormal investigating is about now. Now, since this episode isn't going to be on until the third week in April, and our major announcement is coming April 1st, we're still going to be hunting ghosts and stuff like that, but now we're changing it up a little bit. We will finally be going to investigate Bigfoot claims, alien claims, anything out of the ordinary.
Oh.
So it's not just ghost anymore. Because we figure we're called Shadow Hunters Paranormal Investigations. Paranormal means anything out of the ordinary. So that could be a million and one things.
All sorts of stuff falls under that umbrella.
Yeah, so we decided, we're like, you know what? Let's change it up a little bit. Let's see what kind of stuff we can get. And, stuff about like Mothman and all this. And we know so many different paranormal people out there that have so many stories that, if we were to go on an investigation with them or whatever, it might open up a broader spectrum of different audiences coming in and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And what's interesting about that is that we can learn from each other.
Oh, exactly.
We can get different techniques for doing Sasquatch investigations, and how does that cross over into doing ghost investigations? What can we learn from each other?
Absolutely, and that's what it's about too. Like becoming friends with other people and seeing how they work compared to how you work, and everybody's different. Everybody has different opinions, the way to try stuff. If you have an opinion, it's not wrong. So, like, if one person tries this and it doesn't work, well, hey, that other person may try that same thing that you just tried, but hey, it might work for them because maybe they did it a little bit different, or whatever it is that you are investigating. Maybe their energy is connecting with you, or anything like that. Like, it's all completely different.
Yeah, I agree. And the more people we have working on this, the better our evidence is going to be.
Absolutely.
That's what I feel.
Absolutely. And we're excited to try this new adventure, and, we're definitely going to be bringing you on a lot of these adventures, too.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, do you, are you still working kind of like your, like, own stuff, like you just have, are you on a team? I don't remember.
Well, I was solo for quite some time, but then I actually went on an investigation with USPR. We went to the Edinburgh Manor. They actually had somebody who couldn't go that weekend, and actually Liz was the one who hipped me to this on like a Tuesday or Wednesday and said, hey, what are you doing this weekend? And I had the weekend free. So I ended up tagging along, and we just had so much fun that I was asked to join that group. So I said, I don't know how effective I'll be with you guys up on the Wisconsin border and me down here by Peoria, but sure, yeah, why not? Yeah, so now I'm a member of USPR.
Very nice, very nice. And we, we're acquaintances. We know who USPR are. They're we've gone.
Yeah, I actually remember meeting Brian at Spirits in the Spring last year, and I think Anthony was there too.
Yeah, Anthony and Brian. Yeah, they're great team. I love the way they do their research and all that, and with they're very, very coordinated. They're very, very on point with everything they do, and that's fantastic with them. I mean, if that's what works with them, keep it up. So yeah, they will. Brian, unfortunately, they're not going to be at Spirits this year, but Aaron's going to be at Spirits. He's going to be doing about a good 30-minute, 45-minute presentation with SIC, his group. We're really excited to have them. They've never been part of Spirits before. They were at Spirits last year for, they had a table, but they didn't give a presentation. I think we actually ran out of time last year.
It would be terrifying to do something live. I mean, I do my
And there we go. We're good again. Aaron's going to be at Spirits in the Spring this year, and they're doing a big presentation on SIC. We're excited to have them this year, like I was saying. And of course, we're going to have the lovely
Wonderful.
Sylvia Shults. You will have a table, too. There will be a big table waiting for you. Bring your books, bring anything that you want to bring. The last time I checked, from Thriller Events, who we're doing the tickets from, there was about 50 tickets already sold out of 80.
Ooh.
So we should have a pretty good crowd this year, hopefully.
Excellent. And now, are we doing an investigation of the library afterwards?
Unfortunately, we are not able to with the library. I double-checked that. But there will be an investigation at the Lodge of Antioch that night.
Oh, fun! Okay.
We were able to set it up with the owner that we're after Spirits in the Spring. It'll be about an hour break or whatever. Everybody will go to the lodge. They'll order some dinner, whatever they want, and then.
Oh, I'm gonna have some more of that cheddar beer soup.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was amazing.
And then we will be doing an investigation of the lodge.
I am really looking forward to that. That seems like a very active place. I've never been to a proper investigation there, but I know the last time I was there, we did just a little bit of the Gonsfeld experiment.
Oh, yeah. And
the Rembod was just going bananas when we were there.
Absolutely. We love going to the lodge. We always get, like, activity there. And this year we're doing, because we finally built, and I was so grateful for my cousin for helping me, we finally built the SLS camera. Yeah, so with the SLS, we're really excited to try that out. We've tried it at a couple places, and we've gotten some odd things on there, but I really don't know if it's trying to map like a branch or something that was in the room. So it's just kind of cool to think about. But yeah, we're going to have a screen there, and we're going to be projecting the SLS on the screen in front of everybody, to see if maybe anything wants to come and interact with any of the guests that are there that night. So yeah, we're really excited about that. There we go, perfect. So yeah, we'll have the SLS going for everybody to check out, and we're excited about that.
Oh, that'll be wonderful. And I'm really intrigued to try the Gonsfeld experiment again. We had such wonderful results with it last time. Now, when we were at the lodge last time, we did the Gonsfeld experiment, and I remember that I was sitting on a stool at the front of the room, and you blocked off my eyes and blocked off my hearing with the white noise generator, and I could have sworn in that situation, in that sensory deprivation thing, I thought that you walked in front of me, because I could sense somebody walking in front of me. And then when the experiment was over and I took off my eye blinders and took off the headphones, everyone in the room assured me that no one had been within 8 feet of me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really fascinating.
Oh yeah, the Gonsfeld's a lot of fun. Now, have you ever heard of the Estes method?
Yes, I have, and we actually used it at the Edinburgh Manor, SIC, and I got to partake in the Estes experiment with SIC, so that was really amazing.
Oh yeah, we love doing the Estes method.
Getting answers to that is just, it's kind of mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're still confused how that works. But I mean, I still feel that it's the spirits actually talking through you at the same time, because you're blocking your other two senses, your vision and your hearing. And it really opens up that sixth sense.
Mm-hmm. Now, between those two experiments, which is your favorite?
I would probably have to say the Estes method now.
Really?
I love doing the Estes method.
I guess I'm just one of the kind of person that just wants answers and results right away, because I was really taken with the Gansfeld experiment and the Estes method. We did it like 3 different times, and the first time I was the sitter, 3 different times, and some of the answers made sense, and some of them were just way off.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess I have to work with the Estes method.
Yeah,
a little further before I make a decision.
Yeah, it varies, and I mean, yeah, definitely with the Gansfield experiment, like we've had great success with it. You've had great success with it, because I remember after taking off the blindfold of yours, you're just like kind of looking around, dazed, like I don't know what just happened, and we're like, Sylvia, none of us moved. We're standing here.
Yeah, that was is that you can do the Gansfeld experiment just one person. I mean, you have to have more than one person for the Estes experiment.
Oh, absolutely. Now,
so
with the Gansfield, it'd be kind of cool to try with the Gansfield if you had like 4 or 5 people up there all listening to the white noise at the same time and, blindfolded to see if you guys get the same visual experience or audio experience as somebody else, or to see if it changes, because it could change too.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something we can always try there. And yeah, we're excited about spring and all the new stuff coming up, and yeah, it'll be a fun time. If there's one place, kind of like your paranormal bucket list, if there's one place you had to go to, where would you want to go?
Well, I would have to say it would be a toss-up between the U505 at the Museum of Science and Industry.
Okay.
That would be better if I understood German, because I would be very interested in getting EVPs, but I wouldn't know how to translate them.
Right.
There's a video series that I follow where this girl was going all over the world, and she gets a guidebook, and she gets phrases in, she went to this Vietnamese cemetery, and she got the Vietnamese phrases for, hello, what is your name? Are you here with me? Things like that. And I guess I could get a German phrase book and use that. I mean, that would be that's something to consider. And the other place I desperately want to go is the Bridgewater, or the Bridgeport Triangle in Connecticut.
Okay.
And the forest there that is supposed to be just ridiculously haunted. Mm-hmm. I love being out in nature, and just the idea of wandering around in those woods, not knowing what's out there. I mean, there's ghosts, there's supposed to be alien activity, there's Sasquatch activity out there, and that would really be a wonderful place to explore.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, that's pretty high up on the list.
There you go. Well, I'm sure you'll get there one day. Maybe soon.
From your mouth to God's ears.
I was going to say, too, we should definitely get you to go on to the woods right behind my house, because there's definitely something there. Like, we don't even know what it is. We don't know if it's a ghost, spirit, alien, what it is. But there's definitely something back there. And since you just said you love doing stuff with nature, we should definitely include you in on the documentary we're making about the woods behind my house.
That would be excellent.
Yeah, because we have no clue.
Totally up for that.
Yeah, I mean, those are definitely some great places. I've heard of the one at the Museum of Science and Industry. I've heard of that one. The other one I haven't heard too much on, but that definitely sounds like a place I want to go to now.
Oh, yeah. The Paranormal Files is a really good series, and that was one of the earlier ones I watched. is the guy. It's a guy and a girl who are dating, and the guy, what's his name? Colin. He didn't spend the night there. He went into the woods after dark by himself, which would be awesome.
Oh, yeah. Now, by yourself, I don't know, but...
Well, see, that's the thing. If I'm with somebody else, I'm absolutely fearless. But, okay, so there's a haunted cemetery, Mount Zion Cemetery, that's, I don't know, like 40 minutes away from my house. And it's really close to my aunt's house. So when I went there for Thanksgiving this past year, I left my house a little bit early, and I went and walked around in Mount Zion Cemetery for a while, and then I went to Thanksgiving at my house. And as it was getting dark, I decided to drive home a little bit early. And it was just almost not quite dark, so I decided to go to the cemetery again.
Mm-hmm.
And I parked the car, and I got out, and I reminded myself that this was the very same place I had been 3 hours before, in the bright sunlight, and there was nothing whatsoever to be afraid of. But I just was disinclined to go wandering through the cemetery by myself when it was that close to dusk.
Right.
So I just looked through the gates and didn't see any shadows moving around or anything, but I still was like, no, I think I'm just going to go home.
Yeah, it can definitely be... It's weird, like when you go during the daytime, you're like, whatever, I'm fine. But then as soon as that little bit of light hits, or a little bit light left, you're like, I don't know if I can do this.
It's so easy to creep yourself out.
Well, I mean, because your brain plays so many tricks on you, too. Like, did I hear a noise? What was that? Somebody's watching me.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, definitely. Like,
yeah, and that's part of the lore about Mount Zion Cemetery is that it's surrounded by woods, and apparently sometimes you can hear the sound of children playing and laughing in the woods, and that's not a sound I want to hear when I'm by myself and it's coming on so dark.
Yeah. Now, have you seen Ursula's post about the whole Wisconsin Dells thing coming up?
Yes.
That
sounds amazing.
We're gonna be. You should definitely try to go to that one because I'm really, really excited to go on the boat tour at night and hearing about all of the Native American ghost stories on the Upper Dells River. And then we actually get to stop at, it's called Witch's Gulch, and investigate for a little bit.
How can you resist a place with a name like Witch's Gulch?
Exactly.
I'll have to find out when that is. Join you guys.
I think it's like June 5th or 6th. It's one of the two. Or both days or something like that. But yeah, we're really excited to go, and as soon as she said ghost boat tour, I was like, no question about it, I'm coming. Because I don't know, there's definitely something about like the whole Wisconsin Dells area, especially because I'm Native American. That whole area is Native American too, and I feel like there's a big connection. Like I just love those sandstone cliffs and the forest around them, and I'm always in awe every time I take those boat tours.
Wonderful.
But yeah, especially do it at night. That'll be a different experience.
That would be amazing.
Oh yeah, we are excited about that. Now, Sylvia, where can people find you at?
Well, I am at sylviashults.wordpress.com, and that's SHULTS. That's pretty much where you can find just about everything about me. The book links to Amazon are there. You can explore my fiction if you're so inclined. And that is also the place where you can find episodes of Lights Out, which is my true ghost story podcast. So sylviashults.wordpress.com is the place to go.
Awesome. And actually, I was going to ask you too, because with this Paralightning Darkcast, it's two brand new things. So pretty much, one is the podcast, and two, for the first time ever, we're doing a blog series. Can we include you on some of our blogs?
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Perfect. So what we'll do is...
I'm always up for trading blog posts and everything, yeah.
All right, sounds good. And then what we'll do too is we'll be finding other people's blogs, and we'll post, if there's any new blog that you want posted, we'll post it right on our website, so people can check that out too.
Cool.
But I want to say thank you very, very much for being on our brand new series that we hope is going to be good in April. And we look forward to hanging out with you at Spirits in the Spring. So yeah, I just want to say thank you very much, Sylvia, for being on our brand new podcast.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to investigating with you more and seeing you and giving you a big, gigantic hug at Spirits in the Spring.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. I am so excited to be a part of this brand new podcast. And it was my pleasure to talk with you and your listeners, and I look forward to Spirits in the Spring.
If you enjoyed the episode, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more episodes and our vlog series. Everything you want to know about Shadowhunters Paranormal Investigations can be found at www.shadowhuntersparrot.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This is Tenley Wells, signing off. Thanks for watching and sleep well. If you can.